I wish you guys could see what I'm seeing right now because I'm seeing like Karen and Case and Connor out here just jamming to this music. They love this bumper music. They're playing air guitar down here and everything. Man, we're going to have to start recording video on these podcasts.
Oh, no, we won't.
Why not?
Over my dead body.
That was one of the things that Karen said. She's like, I'll do a podcast with you as long as we don't have to do any video. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
You know how it is being a girl. You got to do your hair and your makeup and look presentable.
No, I don't know how it is.
I know.
I've never been a girl.
You look like a girl.
Hey.
Oh, burn from Case.
Solid burn branch.
Name that movie.
Name that movie. Solid burn branch.
Trolls.
Hey. I wasn't
away.
asking you. It was for the viewers. My goodness. We're going to have to do like a better rehearsal if you guys are just going to go off like that and spoil all the like little nuggets. Speaking of nuggets, and the guys, there's a guy who reached out to me and he said, hey, can you like interject a little Easter egg or a little nugget in here into your videos or your podcast or something? And it happened just before the holidays when they reached out to me and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll try to do that. And then I totally forgot all about it. Well, then in our last podcast, apparently I said something about like giving it the beans or whatever. And that was what these guys wanted me to drop into a podcast or a video. And I just did it organically. I forgot all about trying to get it in there. And then I had 2 emails in my inbox this morning and they're like, yeah, thanks so much for dropping those Easter eggs in there. That was so cool. And I was like, what are you talking about? Did I miss something? And then I look at the next email and it was another guy saying like, that was so sweet. Did my friend get to you? You know? And I'm like, what is going on?
Oh, that's funny.
So anyways, that's Easter egg of us giving her the beans. Today, what are we talking about? This is the Monday morning mechanic. That's why you're here, right, Karen?
Oh, yeah. That's the only reason I'm here.
That's the reason why we're here. It's Saturday night. We watched the race last night, and then we went back through, watched the press conference just now, right, Case?
Yep.
Yeah, we watched the press conference. What did you learn in the press conference?
Not really much.
I learned that Barsha was super sick. That's what I learned.
Serious? We didn't know that.
He looked awful. You could tell that he was sick before he even opened his mouth.
Yeah, he did not look well, but he still rode really well. We'll get to that.
Super pale, runny nose, droopy eyes. Poor guy.
Droopy eye guy. Yeah, so we this evening we went through, watched the post-race press conference, which they finally put out for last week. We needed that post-race press conference last week, and they never uploaded it. So at least they're on the ball this time. So they finally got that thing going here. I got to turn the heater off on my legs. I'm like, why am I so hot? And it's because the heater, my little electric heater thing is still on. I just got it turned off. So Monday morning mechanic. You'll be listening to this on Monday morning because I know all you guys are subscribing to this thing and you're getting the notifications on your phone and you're hitting it at like 7 a.m. I guarantee you everyone is doing that. But let's, so what are we at? St. Louis? Karen and I were going to go to this race, maybe, but we decided it's St. Louis in January.
Arizona girl here.
Arizona.
I'm not about that life. The cold.
Yeah, because I think it was snowing there. At least outside.
It looked like it in the video or whatever.
Yeah, and Karen's like a pit gal. She wants to run around the pits and get autographs and give high fives and stuff. So, right?
I love the pits. It's fun. There's an energy out there. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So St. Louis, we decided not to go, but we're going to go next week to Anaheim too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited about that?
I'm so excited. We
What-
leave in just a few days.
What-
I'm
what's-
going to get packed tomorrow, I think.
What are you most, we shouldn't do this because we need to talk about St. Louis, but what are you most excited about for going to A2?
I was just talking to one of my friends, and I think it's the sounds and the smells. You know, that racing fuel and
You said
all the
smell,
engines.
you
and-
said smelling the two-stroke to me the other day, and I was
I
like,
just said the wrong one.
I'm like, I wish we were smelling two-stroke. We're smelling that race gas, though, the alcohol. Not the alcohol you're thinking. I'm talking about the ethanol alcohol, like the alcohol and the fuel and whatever else.
Yeah, so I'm excited about the smells of that and also just the fun. It's exciting. I lose my voice because I'm out there screaming and hollering at my faves. You know, that kind of stuff.
Your faves, like in the 250s. Who's your favorite in the 250 right now, Karen?
Oh, man. The 250s.
250 West.
Those 250s. I'm gonna say Justin Cooper and
Why?
Christian Craig. I know he had some struggles, but those are my favorites.
What happened to Christian Craig? I think he had to leave the race, right? He didn't finish.
Yeah, something was wrong with his bike. I can't remember what it was.
He's
Looked
on
like-
one of those red bikes. Is he on the Dungey team? I think he is, right?
I don't know, but was he the one that went out into the pits and it was like a Lightning McQueen where he like went out there and they fixed something and he went back onto the race?
I think
Was
that
that
was
him?
Dylan Ferrandis that did that.
Oh yeah, maybe that was it.
Or was that Jay Lawrence?
Shoot, we don't
Jet
know.
Lawrence. I'm pretty sure Jet Lawrence and Christian Craig are on that team that Dungey is a part owner in now. I'm pretty sure of that. The nice thing about this podcast is you can't quote me on that because I'm not like a certified board member of the press or whatever, and so I can just say whatever I want. But I think that Jet Lawrence and Christian Craig are on that Honda team that Ryan Dungey is part owner in. So we'll just talk about like top five in that 250 West main. You had Austin Faulkner. That was kind of like his hometown race. He said he'd been going there for a long time. He lives on the other side of the state, according to him. I don't know exactly where he's from. Actually, it probably says
Missouri
it
native.
right on here. Richards, Missouri. Is that what it says? Yeah, I'm
Richards.
gonna have to print out 2 of these things next time because every time I go to read it, you pick it up and then I'm like, I can't read it. So I think he's from Richards, which is on the other side of the state. But it was good to see him get his hometown race. He had like 100 people there. It sounded like. And then Justin Cooper. So what do you like about Justin Cooper, Karen? I mean, he got second.
I don't know. He's first in the point standing though.
Right.
I don't know. I just think he's just a genuine guy. Like I think he's a good guy. It seems like from what I've seen and when we met him, and I don't know.
We met him.
I don't know Austin Faulkner that well.
You're not a fan of Austin Faulkner, are
I
you?
don't know.
I like Austin Faulkner. better
You just like
Isn't
Austin
Cooper?
Faulkner because he wins.
No,
Is that it?
Case.
partially, but
Do you think you'd like Austin Faulkner if he was finishing like 15th every week?
I don't know.
I got $100 that says no.
Probably not because I wouldn't really like pay attention to him.
Yeah, I doubt it either. I doubt it also. And then Brandon Hartranft. I don't know how to pronounce Brandon's last name, but he gets
3 consonants in a row. That's struggles.
Yeah, he ended up with his first podium in 3rd place, which is pretty cool. It's fun to hear him talk about that at the press conference. Alex Martin in 4th. Jet Lawrence gets 5th. I think Jet is only like 16 years old, I think is what they said. And the cool thing about Jet is he was riding a good race. He was actually holding on to Faulkner's pace for, I don't know, like a significant portion of the race. I think he might have gotten the whole shot or something like that. He was right out there in the lead or
Yeah.
first, second, or third, and then Austin Faulkner got around him, and Jet Lawrence was just hanging on to him until he had kind of a little bit of a problem. He crashed or he had a mix-up with somebody or something. I don't know. It didn't go exactly the way that he wanted. But, I mean, to get a top 5 in like his second, Supercross race, I thought was pretty phenomenal. What happened with Dylan Ferrandis, Karen? There was an issue. Did you see what happened with him?
Oh, no, I didn't see what happened with him. I should do more research when we do these podcasts. I'm
He
sorry.
he ended up in 12th, which was it kind of took a big hit to his point standings. But he ended up in 12th down there. I don't know exactly. It seemed like he was having maybe some bike problems or he got into a mix-up or something with somebody. And you were right. He had to come over into the pits. And so kind of a
He's
tough.
now 4th in this point standing.
Yeah, a tough break for Dylan, but I mean, he can bounce back for sure. Because what did he qualify? Dylan Ferrandis qualified. I guess he only qualified 8th, so he wasn't that great. Christian Craig was the number 1 qualifier, followed by Austin Faulkner. So Dylan just maybe was having an off day yesterday. Not the greatest, right?
It happens.
It happened. So then in the 450s, this is the part that we all wanted to get to. I'm sorry it took us like 9.5 minutes to get here.
Oh,
But
man.
Karen, why don't you tell us what happened in the 450s?
Putting it on me, huh? Jiminy Crickets. Okay. So we had a fun hooting and hollering in our living room last night because Ken Roczen, he really pulled it together and he finally got his win. And we were just so excited because he has been just roller coaster with his health and his injuries. And getting a cadaver part and all of the things. And it just kind of came full circle and he got his win. And that was so fun. We were screaming and hollering. That was fun.
It was kind of fun that they were showing his wife. Is it Courtney?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
what her
Courtney.
name is?
Mm-hmm.
Courtney, we don't know Courtney at all.
I feel like I know her.
But
I follow her on Instagram.
You do?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
She's a Utah gal.
Yep. Cedar City.
Cedar City or Parowan or something down there. And obviously Ken Roczen has a house down there somewhere in St. George, Washington, Santa Clara, Ivans. I don't know exactly. He's just kind of in that greater St. George area. I know he ends up riding a bunch out in Warner Valley. People that I know have bumped into him out there in Warner Valley. Even I didn't bump into him. We were down there. We were down there at Warner Valley in Santa Clara just this last week, and I was so ticked off that I didn't bump into Kenny Boy.
That would have been sweet.
That would have been sweet, but it was so awesome to see. I agree with Karen. It was so awesome to see him kind of get the monkey off his back, and he was so smooth on the bike. It was fun because he jumps out there, and he just rode smooth, and he was. I think it was Zach Osborne got the whole
Zach
shot.
was first,
and Ken is right there behind him, and. As much as I love Zach Osborne, you could tell that he was kind of holding Ken back a little bit, and then Ken kind of put a pretty aggressive pass on Zach Osborne.
He even apologized when he won. He's like, "Sorry about that, buddy."
But I had to do it. He's like, I had to get in front. I had to get in front and then pull away. And here's the thing I'm thinking. I'm hoping that this is just like a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
Because he has the skill, he has the fitness, he has the drive. Who's to say he can't start clicking those things off?
And he and his wife, Courtney, they showed on TV that they were both crying, at the win. And that just shows you how much is behind the scenes putting it all together and making a win happen. Yeah,
it was just awesome. You have all these comeback stories in all of sports and everything. And I don't want to compare anyone or like diminish what other people do, but it is, I think, worthwhile to say that this is one of the bigger comebacks in sports. I mean, imagine if, Tom Brady had to have a complete shoulder overhaul or whatever and, have new parts put in there and his arm was infected so badly that they were going to amputate it. That's what happened to Ken Roczen. Or some pitcher. I mean, some pitcher in baseball. I'm going to date myself because I can't remember any of the pictures. But the only pictures that's coming to mind is
Randy Johnson
or Greg Maddux or Tom Glavine, John Smoltz. I'm naming all the Braves pitchers from the late 1990s. But if you had, if they had an issue like that where all of a sudden, their arm was going to come off and then they come back, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing to see him push through that adversity and then get that. And the thing that stands out the most to me about Ken Roczen is just how smooth he looks on the bike. He doesn't look like he's overworking it, right?
He's looking more polished.
Absolutely. And then Justin Barcia, our points leader still, because Justin Barcia gets second place in this race, so he holds on to the points lead. That was pretty cool. And he was sick. We learned that in the press conference after the race that he was sick. He was not feeling well.
Maybe he was hanging out with Cooper Webb.
Yeah, between Cooper, Justin, and Zach Osborne, they all need to stop making out or something, because why would they all be sick?
They're just coughing on each other. I doubt they're making out.
Yeah, probably not. I think they're all married or something. Anyway, I'm sure that they have better options to make out with than each other. But yeah, it's crazy to see that he
It's got weird fast.
This is where I go.
I'm so sorry to everyone out there.
I'm just thinking about these boys. So Justin Barcia gets his second place. Jason Anderson is in third. So Karen, do you think Jason Anderson is going to be a contender this year?
Or
Case? Case, do you think Jason's going to be a contender now that he got his first podium of the season?
No, not really. I don't think he's going to be a
fourth
contender.
in the points lead, though.
Yeah, but I feel like he's going to get he's going to be one of those guys that gets fourth, fifth, and sixth, and seventh.
I think he's going to be up there. I think he's going to be in the hunt a little bit. Because now he doesn't have any pressure on.
He also said he had no drama in his last couple of races. So he's been decent.
Yeah, and he wasn't that
And
far.
chill. That's his word. He's chill.
He's chill. He's just chill. And he wasn't that far behind Ken. I mean, Ken had a great race, and Justin, like Ken in number one, in first place, Justin in second, and Jason in third. That's where they were most of the race, I believe. You know, the other thing that was cool about Ken Roczen is he qualified number one. I mean, think about that. He qualified one. He finishes one.
Wait, wasn't it Cincerillo?
Says it right here. He qualified number one. Ken Roczen qualified number one. This is the official thing. So Cianciarulo qualified second.
So he was the first in the other heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when Eli Tomac, he gets a fourth place. That's good, right?
Yeah. For a guy
Yes.
who's supposed to go out there and win and be the fastest on the track, not that good. But
That's right. Because generally speaking, you'd say no one's faster than Eli Tomac,
I
right?
got to be careful because Connor's behind me, and he, at one point, was a humongous Eli fan. So
But here's the thing. My buddy Kevin texted me last night, and he's like, well, at least Eli Tomac is probably happy right now that he has a lot more points at this point than he did at this point of last season.
right, because in years past, Eli Tomac has had lower points at the beginning of the season, and then he fights his way back up, and
He comes on strong.
yeah, he comes on strong.
My thought with Eli Tomac, and I've had this thought for a long time, is that I don't think anyone is going to argue with me that he's the fastest rider. When he's on, no one can beat
for
him.
Sure.
The only person that can beat Eli Tomac when he's on is himself. No one can touch him, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
There-
Sure.
When he's on, it didn't matter who was out there. No one is going to beat Eli Tomac. And my thought is, he's right if he's riding 100%, he's good to go. Problem is, you can't ride at 100% without crashing. I just don't think you can. I think what you have to do is figure out how to ride at like 90 to 95%
Like
of your
Dungey.
Yeah, well, I think like if you want to win, you've got to figure out how to ride at 90% of your ability, because 80% of your ability is probably not fast enough. You won't keep anybody
And
behind
100's
you.
too dangerous.
And 100 is too much
Risky.
because you'll end up, crashing, pushing away. And so for me, I feel like of course, I'm not a like the coach or anything. But just from the layman's perspective, boiling it down, I think they have to learn how to ride at somewhere between 90 and 95%. And I think that's probably really hard.
Yeah.
What do you think, Case?
Yep, I think the same thing.
Because you're either just kind of like going through the motions at 75%, or you're going like all the way. And what you need to do is figure out a middle ground behind there. And some of those guys have been able to do that. And I think Tomac is really just trying to find that groove, because he knows, and he's had a bunch of people telling him, like, buddy, you don't have to go out there and win all of these races. You can you could win 7, 8, 9 races this year and still lose the championship like you've done for the last several. You need to figure out how to podium every time, and you don't have to win every time.
Just be consistent.
Like literally, if Eli Tomac got a second place every week, he'd probably win the championship. And we saw that from Dungey a few years ago. You know what I mean? You just need to finish on the podium. And I think for him, he's trying to figure out that balance of how do I not race at my full potential, but also not just be in 6th place. And so 4th place, I'm not worried at all for Eli Tomac.
Maybe you should just go tell Eli, tell him your thoughts.
I'm just going to send him a text when we get done with the podcast and be like, hey,
Hey,
Eli,
bro.
I figured it out. You need to ride at 90% of your ability. And if you can just lock it in at 90%, you're golden, boy.
Don't tell him that. We've got Kenny Boy that we want to win.
Hey, but wouldn't that be awesome if you had a rivalry between red and green this year? If you had Ken Roczen and Eli Tomac battling it out, that would be good for the sport. These guys are at the end. These guys are at the end of their career. Connor, if you want to say something, you're going to have to get a mic. Otherwise, you're going to have to stop. You're going to have to stop bugging your mom.
I'm the mom of 4 kids. I get bugged all the day.
Yeah,
It's all good.
Mom's over there pulling her headphones off. Connor, if you got something to say, you got to step up to the mic. You got something to say?
He's on. Nope,
Connor's
not anymore.
like, no, I don't have anything to say.
Not after that.
So I don't think there's any problem with Eli. I think he's just getting this dialed in, and he's in a better position right now than he was last year. Okay? Zach Osborne in 5th. What'd you guys think?
He got the whole shot.
I wish. Well, I think I said his last podcast, but he can't catch a break. But for this week, and I'm pretty sure last week he got a good whole shot. I mean, he got a good start, and he ended up 4th, 5th, and 3rd, and I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, well, and Zach Osborne got the whole shot. That was fun to see. And when he was kind of up there in 1st and 2nd, between him and Ken Roczen kind of swapping, I'm like, I would be happy if they finished just like this. If Roczen was 1 and Zach Osborne was 2, that would be sweet. I just love the way that Zach, the passion that he rides with.
He's got heart.
He does have heart. Malcolm Stewart, it would be fun to see him. I mean, he got 6th. It'd be fun to see him, start to contend for some of these podiums.
That guy, he was whooping it through the whoops. That was so fun to watch him just pass people like child's play.
There was one whoop section where they showed where he passed 2 people in the whoops.
It's like he's running on a straight flat thing, and everyone's running on actual whoops. Seems like. Yeah,
and then Adam Cianciarillo, he wasn't able to back up his ride from last week. He kind of had that one little that one. Well, so there was a deal where Osborne is leading Cianciarillo, and Cianciarillo passes Osborne, and then Zach says, "Hold on there, big guy. I'm not gonna let that happen." And Osborne takes the spot back. Well, then a few laps later, Cianciarillo puts a masterful pass on Zach Osborne. And but then he ends up dropping back. I can't remember exactly what happened, how Osborne ended up finishing in front of Cianciarillo. It's one of those, it was probably another one of those little mental lapses, and I think that's going to be the issue for Cianciarillo. We saw it through his 250 career. He is an extremely talented rider, extremely fast. I mean, because he qualified 2nd, so we know he's got the speed. It's just, does he have the consistency?
That's the question.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Question mark.
I'm rooting for him, though. I think he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I like him.
He's definitely, I would say between him and Ken Roczen, they're probably the coolest guys there.
Did you watch those videos on Instagram?
And
the 2 of them?
You showed me.
Oh, yeah, I did.
The ones where they're pushing each other over. Yeah. How do people go find that?
I think that's Ken Roczen. Let me look it up. You talk.
So yeah, they did a kind of a funny little spoof video because Ken Roczen and Adam Cianciarillo kind of train together, and so they have some banter going back and forth, which is kind of fun. Moving down the list, Cooper Webb, he finished there in 12th. It looks like he was still super sick. I mean, we had Justin Brayton ahead of him, Blake Baggett ahead of him, Aaron Plessinger, Justin Hill, and Cooper Webb ends up in 12th place. And so he was still really sick. I think they said he has some sort of a lung infection. Would that mean that he has pneumonia, Karen?
Well, it depends if it's a bacterial or not, because bacterial is an infection, right? So it could be bronchitis or something like that too.
What a tough break though to have that happen at the beginning of the season. I'm not saying
because when your heart's pounding that fast as it does for these riders, you have to have
all your
lung capacity.
Yeah, and so, lung capacity is the most important thing at this point, right?
Okay, so I found it on Instagram. It's Ken Roczen 94, and it was a post on December 30th. So you can scroll down, and it's called Great Minds Think Alike, and it's just 30-40 seconds long, but it's funny.
So they're teasing each other. Cianciarillo pushes him on the start right before the gate dropped.
Yeah, it's funny.
And Roczen's tapping him on the shoulder, and then Roczen's blasting him with that dirt.
Yeah. So going back to Cooper, I mean he qualified 7th, and then this time he finishes in 12th. Last week he qualified 14th and finishes in 5th or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. He might have finished in 3rd. I can't remember. The point is, last week he qualified bad and he finished better. This week he qualifies a little better than last week, but ends up coming backwards and ending up 12th. If he wants to have a chance at this season, that's got to be his worst day. So hopefully he can get better and get feeling all right. Vince Friese in 14th. Now, why would I even bring up Vince Friese? It was because in the press conference, post-race press conference, Ken Roczen said something about like having roadblocks in front of him at the beginning of a race.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking he has to be talking about Vince Friese, because Vince Friese gets good starts and he's been up there forever. Like Vince Friese is almost always money on the starts. And like Ken Roczen wouldn't have been talking about Zach Osborne because Zach Osborne has a title and they were battling back and forth. And Vince Friese is one of the best starters in the business, but he can't maintain it. He can't maintain it. And I think Ken Roczen put a shot across the bow saying like he was a roadblock, right? What did you think, Karen?
I don't know. Well, I didn't pick up on it the first time. Then we had to rewind it and start it again. And then I was like, oh yeah, he is digging, but he didn't want to rat anyone out. To be respectful. Yeah,
they said like, "Do you want to name any names?" And he's like, "No, I can't."
No,
but
he turns away from the mic.
But he's not going to name out, because Justin Brayton's up there a lot. But there's no way he's going to like drop that on Justin Brayton because that's his teammate. Mm-hmm. Had to be Vince Friese that they were talking about.
And Justin Brayton did good. I was so excited for him. He was holding it good for a while.
Yeah, Brayton's the man.
I like Brayton.
And then last but not least, who we'll probably talk about, Chad Reed. He did not finish the race. Chad. He had to go to the last chance qualifier, LCQ, again, just to get into the main. And then it looked like he was having a problem with the bike because he only put in, how many laps did he do? He only put in, actually, maybe he did finish. He might have finished the race. Either way, he finished in 22nd or 21st place. So he qualified 21 and he got 21st position. So not a great thing for him, but he's just kind of pumping up those race starts, So.
Oh, anyway. We found out about the 22 from Anaheim 1. That was in the.
It was burned into the ground.
Yeah.
And about the Lamborghini.
They lit the 22 rocks on fire.
Yeah, that's neat.
So we're gonna be down there at A2 this week. Yeah. So if you're down there, if you see me and my wife Karen, come up and give us a high five, shake her hands.
I'll take pictures. Don't worry. I'll be the photographer.
You mean you'll take pictures with them? I would actually prefer.
No, not of me, of you.
I would prefer that if they just got pictures.
My picture.
If they just got pictures with you, I'd prefer that.
Goodness gracious.
So that's our Monday Morning Mechanic episode for St. Louis. So
Anaheim, here we come.
Anaheim, here we come.
Holler.
Case, are you excited that Mom and Dad are going to go to Anaheim without you?
Yeah.
You're excited that we're going to go without you?
No, but
I'm just excited we're going.
Yeah, excited for Cooper Webb to hopefully win it.
Yeah, Coop Dog.
I don't think Cooper Webb's going to win it. I think he's going to still be trying to get over his. He's going to try to get his land legs under him. But I think once he does, as long as he can get him under him quick, I think he can make a run for it again. He just cannot have another race like that where he's in 12th. If he gets two of those things, I don't think he can do it for the season as far as for the championship. You know what I mean?
I'm rooting for Roczen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm rooting for.
Roczen, Cooper Webb, and Zach Osborne.
I think Roczen.
Adam Cianciarulo, I'm rooting for him too.
Yeah, if we could get Adam and Ken up there in Anaheim, that'd be awesome. So
sweet dog.
Maybe are you going to try to get Ken's? Have you ever gotten Ken's autograph?
I don't think I got his autograph.
Don't we have pictures with Karen, like Kaylee and Ken?
But we didn't get his autograph or anything. Maybe I'll try to score that for her.
Why did we not get his autograph if we were taking pictures?
The line was too long, I think.
So how did we score the picture?
We made it to Ken Roczen. We waited for like an hour on something.
Nice. We got this music going. We got to hang it up.
The truth is, I don't usually stand in lines for the autographs. I go walking around. But Karen is such a good mom. She's standing in line with the kids to get autographs.
Fun.
Okay. Yeah. So that's it. We will see you guys, at least some of you, down at A2, and then we'll be back and do our Monday Morning Mechanic, having our Monday Morning podcast, having been there.
Hot dog.
That'll be pretty sweet. Okay. Leave a single track, guys. Later.